Hey everybody, welcome to TIW Podcast. I'm Eric, and today I watched WWE NXT episode 571, NXT UK episode 102, SmackDown 1091, and 205 Live episode 188. I'm recording this episode the morning of the horror show at Extreme Rules, or rather, the horror show at WWE Extreme Rules. Weird title, but that's part of the horror show, isn't it? But anyway, these were broadcasts July 15th through July 17th. Just across a couple of days here. Gotten caught up on everything. Going to try to go back to new episodes for each day of stuff. Not every single day, but each day of new wrestling stuff anyway. Plus, coming up, a couple of new shows, possibly a new type of episodes, maybe their own shows. I don't know. Maybe it'll be a whole separate feed, but that all is coming up. I won't officially announce it until we've actually officially recorded this stuff, but it is to come soon. Hopefully, fingers crossed, knock on wood, all of that. All right. So we opened up NXT with the double champ, Keith Lee. He said that there's something special in this ring, and that the reality is there's an entire locker room full of friends and enemies who want the same opportunities that Keith Lee has been able to get. And he invites out Dominik Dijakovic, and he says, both? When? Tonight. I will fight you tonight for these championships. Keith Lee issues that challenge, and Dominik is like, I don't know. And Keith Lee says, just say yes. And so he does. And we get that later on. We had Damian Priest versus Cameron Grimes. Pretty good match. Damian Priest won. Then we had Thatch Can, another session with the Thatch Man. And he says that making your opponent tap out is great, but making them cry is satisfaction. We had him later on. He fought Denzel Dejournette and Dejournette, however you pronounce his name. And Thatcher won and continued the Fujiwara armbar. I think it was the Fujiwara armbar after the match was ended. There's a great promo from Oni Lorcan online on Twitter. He posts on Twitter that he's calling out Timothy Thatcher. And also he came out, he ran out and saved him from that additional abuse at the hands of the Thatch Man. That's not his nickname. It could be. Maybe it is. I don't know. Then we had Shotzi going back in time a little bit because that Thatcher match was later on. Shotzi Blackheart versus Indy Hartwell. Indy Hartwell won because of interference by Aaliyah and Robert Stone, the Robert Stone brand, conspiring to possibly try to recruit Indy Hartwell. But this was a great match. It was great to see Indy on TV, as well as it's always great to see Shotzi Blackheart. She is in the audience for SmackDown and 205 Live this week as well, and she's getting real into it, especially during people's music, dancing a lot, and it's great. Let's see. Oh, I think it was Tom who was saying, the man was run over by a tank. How do you not feel bad for him? Incredulous that Mauro and Beth did not feel bad for him. That's up next. We have, I don't know the words I'm saying. Allegado del Fantasma just hanging out at their mansion, wherever that is, talking some crap about everybody over drinks and talking each other up, which is pretty. It was pretty good. They also played this on 205 Live. Then we had Keith Lee, the second hour, the first hour main event. Keith Lee versus Dominik Dijakovic. Incredible as always. Maybe not quite as incredible as their first couple of outings on in the early days of NXT on USA, but it was still very good. And Keith Lee won via the Big Bang Catastrophe. Um, after that victory, they hug, but then the lights go out and Scarlett appears. She pours out the broken hourglass, all the sand and the glass and the other bits and pieces of the hourglass, and the challenge has been set. Let's see. Who are these names that I wrote down? Somebody and somebody are on the prowl. I don't know what I wrote there. Oh, Dominik Dijakovic. Okay, backstage. They brawl. I didn't write prowl. I wrote brawl. Dijakovic is getting interviewed, and then Karrion Kross confronts him and basically beats the crap out of Dijakovic. But at first, I was like, wait, who is this guy? Who's this guy that's coming? It looks, is he on his lunch break? This accountant? Because he was just wearing like a tie and like a leather jacket over it, but not like it's not like a cool leather jacket. It's like I don't know how to describe what I'm saying, but I thought he was like an accountant or something. I didn't immediately realize that it was Karrion Kross. Get a cooler leather jacket. That's all I'm saying. Oni saves Dejournay from the unnecessary roughness. I already talked about that. Next week, we're going to have Killian Dane versus Dexter Lumis and Karrion Kross versus Dominik Dijakovic. Both of those matches are going to be great. I don't know how this was set up, how Dane versus Lumis was set up by this, but Leah showing off the illustration by Dexter Lumis was pretty great. I really enjoyed the illustration, but also like Aaliyah is growing on me so much. This is like perfect. Her and Robert Stone working together is great. And then we had our main event, which was fantastic. The ending was incredible because Tegan was about to get that shiniest wizard, but right at the last moment, Io Shirai hits her with this rising palm strike, like a Shoryuken or whatever you call it, or is it Hadoken? No, Hadoken is the fireball. Shoryuken, I think, is the rising uppercut thing. It looked just like that. It was amazing, and it knocked Tegan the F out. And apologies for the almost language. Io retained the championship, and then as she's celebrating at the top of the ramp, Dakota Kai kicks her right in the face. Right in the face. And Io Shirai is knocked out, and we end the episode with Dakota Kai. Challenge issued. Fantastic. Will this is the next, that's the next matchup. It's got to be. I'm excited. Over on NXT UK, another best of, we had Zach Gibson selected Noam Dar versus Zach Gibson from October 31st, 2018, from the early days of NXT UK. I think it was Kaylee Ray who selected the Women's Battle Royal. Yes, it was her who selected that because she won that Battle Royal to earn her championship match. That championship match which she won the championship in. So this Battle Royal was from the Download Festival last year, and it was broadcast on June 19th, 2019. And then the last match, I forget who picked this match. It might have been... I think they were all picking their own matches, so it might have been Alexander Wolf. I wasn't entirely paying attention during the intro of this, but this match is actually... You know what? I didn't finish watching this, but I know this match was amazing because it was right before Worlds Collide, just a couple of weeks before that. It was the week right before TakeOver Blackpool 2. It was Dragunov versus Alexander Wolf. I think it was a last man standing match. It might have been I'm pretty sure it was last man standing. Oh man, this match is ridiculous. Go watch this. Either go watch the episode that I was on or just watch this episode because they replayed the whole thing. Fantastic. Moving on to SmackDown. That was the 1091. We had these rapid fire promos at the top of the show. I really like these a lot. I think they did them maybe only like once or twice back in maybe 2016, or maybe it was around when the wild cards, what did they call it? It was the end of the show. It was basically like a pay-per-view on a Tuesday. I think it was around that time, maybe, that the last time they did something like this. But it was like 8 different promos just at the top of the show. Like, this is what's coming. This is what's happening. And I really liked it a lot. All the wrestlers just talking at the camera, talking to the camera, talking to their opponent. I thought it was really good. We opened up with Big E versus Cesaro. The winner of this match would determine what type of match the New Day versus Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura at Extreme Rules would be. Would it be a steel cage match or a tables match? Cesaro wins after some cheating at the hands or the foot of Shinsuke Nakamura. And so later on, I think it was after the commercial break, it was pretty quick afterwards. They made the decision. They're like, steel cage is great, but it was really great when we powerbombed Kofi through Big E on a table last week. So we're going to go with tables. Tables. Shaking fists. Tables. It's going to be great. This match is going to be awesome. Whichever match type they chose, I was going to be really excited because these 4 are amazing. Then up next, we had a moment of bliss with Nikki Cross's Aunt Claire. No. Alexa was clairvoyant, and she was going to say to predict who her guest would be. Wait, that isn't being clairvoyant. She's the one who selected the guest. Anyway, Nikki thinks that the guest is her, but then they're interrupted by Bayley and Sasha, who might be the guests because Alexa says that this person is going to bring the house down on Sunday. Ding dong. Hello. We're the architects of the women's evolution, they say. I still need to make a ding dong hello shirt. By the way, I am dressed perfectly for Extreme Rules, the horror show at WWE Extreme Rules tonight. Drew McIntyre kind of made fun of that when he did Kayla's Corner or whatever she calls the Instagram live interview things. But I'm wearing a Showdown at the Swamp shirt from what's it called? Southpaw Regional Wrestling from season 2. So I got one of these shirts, and so now it's the perfect occasion to wear it because we're not getting a Showdown at the Swamp pay-per-view, but we are getting a Showdown at the Swamp match, or rather the Wyatt family the Wyatt Swamp family fight, the Swamp family fight, Wyatt family fight, Swampy Fighty, the Swampy Fighty Wyatt fight family, the Wyatt Swamp fight. That's what it's called. But anyway, we end up, this is, Bayley, if this cameraman can get out of the way so I can use the steps. That was my favorite moment of the whole night. But the guest is actually Asuka, and there's a big old brawl, and we end up with Bayley and Sasha versus Asuka and Nikki. Bayley and Sasha win because Bayley cheats. She gets her feet up on the rope and pins Nikki. So it might be possible. I think she pinned Nikki. Yeah, it very well might be possible that Bayley could lose on at the Swamp fight. I'm just referring to everything as a Swamp fight now. Then we had a Firefly Funhouse Swamp episode. He says that he gave him purpose, but then Braun comes out. He is mad. He delivers heck of a promo, and he fights Morrison, who's like scared. He's like, why do either of us have to fight him? This is unnecessary. We have no beef. We've squashed our beef with the monster among beef. But Braun, just destroys him. Then we had Lacey Evans versus Naomi. Lacey won. I think it was after, I think she maybe cheated. I don't remember. But she here with that women's rights. I was like preparing dinner or something, so I was like the TV was right out of view when all of a sudden I heard, "Oh!" and she comes back with a women's right. Nobody sounds like that on SmackDown. But yeah, Lacey got the win there. Jeff Hardy accepts the barroom brawl challenge for next week. Bailey backstage says something about it's freaking science. About I forget what was she talking about. She was saying something is freaking science, and I just liked how she said that, so I wrote it down. But Sheamus attacks, and he says, "I'll see you next week on SmackDown, fella." And so we will. This match should be on Extreme Rules. I don't know why it's not. Jeff Hardy. How could Jeff Hardy has a match that it fits the criteria of Extreme Rules within the week of Extreme Rules, and yet the match is not happening on Extreme Rules because I guess it's not a horror show of a match. Anyway, then we had the main event: AJ Styles versus Matt Riddle. AJ reversed the Bromission into a pin, and they shake hands surprisingly. But I think AJ was just like, I see what's about to happen. I'm going to go along with this, so that Matt Riddle doesn't even have any idea that Baron Corbin is about to wipe him out. AJ just he like kind of half leans forward as if to think, maybe I should. Nah, I'm good. And he just gets out of there while Corbin hits the end of days and all that. So yeah, I guess we're gonna see Baron Corbin versus Matt Riddle in the very near future. And then so that was it for SmackDown. It was pretty good. It was way better than last week. Last week was pretty rough. And then finally 205 Live, Vic Joseph. Guys, gals, everybody. Vic Joseph is back. He is back. And not only that, he is on the dream team of Drew Gulak and Vic Joseph. Commentary for 205 Live this week. I'm more excited about this than everything else that happened this entire week. And somehow I forgot it until I saw it written down on the bottom of this page. But Vic Joseph is back. And it is wonderful. Anyway, we had Tahuti Miles versus Mansoor, a rematch from last week, and the same result. Mansoor won again. I'm not surprised at all. I was fully expecting Mansoor to win again. And then we had Tony Nese versus Chase Parker of Everrise, and Tony Nese won, but Everrise went to attack them, and Swerve comes out and makes the save. So, the new team of Swervey Nese. You got the Swervey Knees. They're doing the Charleston dance, maybe? I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. But 205 Live. Things are shaping up on there. But the real exciting stuff... Well, we've had El Legado del Fantasma appear on 205. They're bringing the prestige back. They're bringing the fire back a little bit. Maybe not every single week, but we still got some real quality over there on 205 Live as far as in-ring action goes. So there you go. That is everything of this week that I hadn't talked about in the previous episode. I will have a new episode just about Extreme Rules. I might record that right after the show. I might do it tomorrow morning after tomorrow morning's stream on twitch.tv/TheDemonJackal. Go to twitch.tv/TheDemonJackal for a stream every morning, playing chat games, all that, talking wrestling, playing Supercard, and then also at other times throughout the week doing other stuff, like playing Death Stranding, which I thought I was going to do this afternoon, but I forgot about other things that are going on, and then Extreme Rules starts shortly after that, so I won't be able to play Death Stranding this afternoon, but maybe later, maybe after Extreme Rules. Horror show at WWE Extreme Rules. Anyway. So yeah, I might start doing this podcasts on Twitch, in which case you'll be able to see me record it live, and it might be slightly different than what you listen to in the what I'm saying, I think. Yeah. what you listen to in the podcast feed, because I might edit some things. If I mess up something, I want to redo it, or if I pause it so that I can sneeze or something like that, you'll see that on the live stream, but not with the audio podcast. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. Let me know what you thought about. Oh, let me talk about my predictions. Sure, of course. Extreme Rules 2020 Horror Show Extreme Rules. Drew McIntyre versus Dolph Ziggler. I think Drew McIntyre wins, unless the stipulation is something weird, like it's a Dolph Ziggler wins match. So like that's the stipulation. Like it's a requirement that Dolph Ziggler wins. I think that's kind of like wishing for more wishes. I think Asuka versus Sasha Banks. I think Asuka wins. Bayley versus Nikki Cross. I think Bayley wins. Braun Strowman versus Bray Wyatt. Okay, so this is the Wyatt Swamp fight. It is not for the championship. So I think that Bray Wyatt will win. Braun Strowman will still be champion, but this gives extra motivation to the Fiend. He is like, all right, let me finish this off. And Braun will be broken by being destroyed by his maker. And he might just go, he was impassioned. He was passionate on Friday. This could break him if he loses. So yeah, I think Bray Wyatt wins. Rey Mysterio versus Seth Rollins. Eye for an eye match. I think that Seth Rollins will have his eye poked out. Rey Mysterio will put that eye in his own eye socket, and he will be back to full vision. It's like the got your nose. It's like the got your nose trick. Like, boink, pop. My eye is back. Anyway, that would have worked better visually. If you saw what I did, the gestures that I did, you'd probably be laughing slightly more. Or at all. Or maybe not at all. I don't know. Then we have Apollo Crews versus, this is not in the order that they're going to happen. This is probably reverse order, actually. But Apollo Crews versus MVP. I think MVP might win. I think he could win. Yeah. No, maybe. Yeah, MVP wins. Why not? Or Apollo Crews wins. It could go either way. One of these two guys will win. Then we have the New Day versus Cesaro in the tables match. You know what? I hadn't really thought about who would win this. It's they have 2 victories in a row. I think Cesaro and Shinsuke do. I think New Day, when the titles are on the line, they're going to take care of business. They're going to see through all the antics, all the cheating, all that. Plus, it's a tables match. They don't have to tag in and out. I think it's basically a tornado match, but with the you win by putting somebody through a table. It would be really cool if they did something really interesting with I don't know what it would be, but if they did something different and unexpected with the finish. Maybe not like the ladder match at WrestleMania, but something like that where both teammates, where people from both teams go through a table at the same time, and then they have to keep going or something, and then the other two go through a table at the same time, and so they have to keep going, and then all 4 of them go through a table at the same time, and so they have to keep. I don't know. Ends up being like 2 hours. This table after table simultaneous hits. We're like, let's just turn it into a regular match. We ran out of tables. But anyway, yeah. So those are my predictions or hopes or whatever. So let me know what you thought about this week's shows and what you think will happen at Extreme Rules or the horror show at WWE Extreme Rules by tweeting me at TIW Podcast. Go to TIWpodcast.com for more reviews. If you enjoyed this episode or anything else on the site, please share some links with your friends. Subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, wherever you like to listen. Stay safe, healthy, and happy out there in all of the infinite multiverses. And I'll see you next time here on TIW Podcast. Bye.